أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على خير المرسلين محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. I want to greet everybody. Assalamu alaikum everybody.
Alaikum assalam.
Alhamdulillah, this excellent Jumah day. Thank Allah for it. Alhamdulillah. And I want to begin just by addressing future leaders. In reality, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that all of you are leaders in your own right. And there's a whole hadith that talks about where particular people, what particular areas they lead in. And in the protocol of Islam, the leader, number one, does not direct language to himself. He doesn't try to direct language so people can see him. Or in situations of education, teaching daras, madrasa, same way with the sisters. You know, it's simply that we give credit to where credit is due, and we give reverence and focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the protocol. We don't direct things to ourselves, we direct things to the one that is responsible for us being here in the first place. And the saying in Islam or in Arabic is, as we focus on the priorities for us at this particular time in our evolution in these United States of America and around the world as Muslims, we say tawakkal ala Allah, that we rely upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Khalas, full stop, as they say. There's no need to go any further than that for any reliance, that the reliance is upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by whatever name you may call him. As we were speaking with some individuals that were not Muslim on yesterday, that they kept mentioning their God, my God, this like that, my God and your God. And we had to explain that there is no different gods. There is but one God. As we say in the protocol for opening a khutbah or something like that, that there's quality time, not just nonchalant time. Quality time should be given to God, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever our intentions are. So with Allah's name, that's what we say, Bismillah, with Allah's name, merciful benefactor, the merciful Redeemer. The praise and thanks is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for people who are just kind of like maybe tuning in or coming to Islam or thinking about Islam, people would wonder, or they should not wonder, why a person or people should put so much emphasis on El-Khaliqu Kulli Shay'in, the one who has created everything. Why? Because without Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we wouldn't even exist as an entity. We wouldn't even be here. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in His infinite mercy and His infinite wisdom, brought us from nothing. He brought you from nothing. You were not existing at all. And He brought us from nothing and brought us into this reality that we see for ourselves right now. And so what happens a lot of times for people, as Allah mentions in the Quran about a certain people, I won't call their name, but you know what I'm talking about, people in general, but a specific group, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them great knowledge, great wisdom, great understanding about life and the wherewithal, how to, navigate, how to navigate the life, you know, how to move about in the life, how to negotiate, how to navigate, how to socialize with others. First of all, socialize with himself and his Lord and with his immediate family. This is the Islam proper, alhamdulillah, and with the outer infrastructure of the Jama'ah, what is called the community life. But I want to be especially emphasizing the importance of the leader and the adab of the leader, and the importance of the talib, the student, and the adab of the talib. The adab of the talib. Talib means student, you see. And so if a person knows when, because in a lot of cases, you're the leader. You should know when you're that leader, because you can observe the situation, weigh the circumstances. You're the leader in that situation, whatever that situation may be. But on the other hand, and I'm going to go back and forth here, because that's what Allah is doing, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, that I should know as a leader, when I listen to other individuals, you know, speaking about a certain topic, something like that, it's no big thing for me to get out my pen and paper. There's no issue. I don't mind. Because if someone is talking and discussing a subject that I'm not aware of, then hey, I'm all ears, alhamdulillah. Quran, Sunnah, whatever skill set is in the society, I want to learn that. I want to learn that too. You know, how do you do that deal? You know, how do you cut that? How do you cut to the chase? How do you make, you know, situations, make all of the dots connect on an issue? Yeah. So we should know when. That's the adaptability of the leader, and the adaptability of the student. My imam, one of my imams, Imam Hatim Ahmed, rahimahullah alayhi, he said that, you know, in some cases, as a matter of fact, in all cases, you have to make in-flight adjustment. In-flight adjustment. While you're in a situation, you have to make adjustments in those situations in order for the good to come out of those things. Does this make sense? You have to make adjustments sometimes because you have a preconceived notion about what you're coming into. You have a preconceived notion, but in reality, things turn out completely different than what you thought they were going to be. You see? So in that case, you have to change your mind. You have to start making adjustments and say, oh, okay, this is what that is. Yeah, this is exactly what that is. To make in-flight adjustment is to see the reality of a thing as much as we can see of it, and say, okay, here are the protocols for a leader in Islam. In Islam, the leader of the leaders and the leader of our community is Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I should be able to do this quick. I should be able to look at Prophet Muhammad's life and then look at my life. How long does that take? Look at the leader's life, that is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then look at my life. When you do that, you have automatically adjusted, or you are in the process of adjusting, because this is the language from back in the day. I hope you don't mind, inshallah. They used to say, we're in the hills of North America. You remember that, you were a child. But well, yeah. Some of it is hell and some of it is heaven. It depends on how you navigate your life. And our way, Dean, as I was sharing just yesterday about the root word of the word Deen. You remember we talked about. What is this Deen you all are living? And many that are viewing this khutbah, they may know, they may not know. But even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repeats a lot of verses in the Quran. So I'm going to repeat this definition for those who perhaps were not aware or are not aware of this root word of Deen. It's called Deenul Islam, the religion of Islam, or we can say the code of life for surrender to God. I love this religion. I love this religion. Why? Because it's always giving you something. It gives you more. It gives you more. That's one definition. Well, who said this? That sheikh said that. Was he wrong? No, he wasn't wrong. So the root word of deen is danna, which means debt. A debt. Look at your body. Look at your eyes. Look at your respiratory system. Look at all of these dynamics. This biological existence here that's walking around, looking and going on and casing the joint and all of that kind of stuff, you know. Look at your creation and how you're able to do that. Look at your creation. Well, who is the creator of that? It is Allah. So you ask yourself, do you owe Allah a debt? You better believe you do. No, I don't owe Allah no debt. You better believe you do. For what? You say, well, what I owe Allah? Your life. So, as was mentioned also in the correspondence, this is a debt that we will never be able to pay God for. But we can start doing it. You can't pay God. You can't pay Allah. Matter. Yeah, I'm paying. Here you go, Allah. That's my eyes and my body, my legs and stuff. You know, next week I want to, put another thing. Also pay for my head, my eyes, and my ears. You know, it's not like that. We can't pay Allah. But I'm just saying that Allah, He's so merciful. He'll ask His servants, who is it that will loan to Allah a most beautiful loan? You can't loan. You gonna loan Allah something? Oh my God! I mean that would make a person really, really kind of be very, very humble before God. Because look at what He has given us. So again, on the leader and the starlet, the Amir and the Imam, the Ustad, the Alim, their demeanor is one of humility. Now watch this comparison here. And it's so simple. We say, oh, Imam, yeah, I'm going here. This is where I go. This is where I live at. You cannot plant seeds in soil that is not fertile. Make sense? So, as I said also a few weeks ago, you can relate metaphorically the soul to soil. The soul to soil. If the surface of your soul, the topsoil, is corrupt, you won't be able to plant anything in that garden. You can go out there and plant all day and look for stuff to come out. Did anything come out this morning? Nothing happened. Why? Because the soil has been eroded. And this is what we're looking at in regards to leadership and those who claim to follow certain leadership today. Because the leaders, and not all of them, underscore, not all of them, but many of them, their topsoil is corrupt. So therefore, nothing can be planted there to amount to anything, to grow to any luster, to be looked upon as something that they would like to partake in or spend time with. Am I making sense or not? So the soil, our soil, brothers and sisters, our souls have to surrender to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, both as a talib, both as a student and also as a leader, whether you be a male or female. The condition of the soul is very important. That's the reason why we go to these prayers every day, 5 times a day. We go to these prayers because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to make those adjustments. If something got out of line between Fajr and Dhuhr, He wants us to make the adjustments to get back to our real original self at Dhuhr. To make the wudu, to take the time to, you see, the wudu, washing and our ghusl, to wash the extremities. But this is a sign of what you're doing in your essential self. As you wash your extremities, your essential self is also being washed. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Why? So that it can be having a state of existence, okay, if you're listening, that is receptive to the germs called kalam. Because you have good germs and bad germs. Kalam, min Allah. The words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, brother and sister, you have to think about what I'm saying to you, or else this connection will not be made in you or I. What connection? My mind has to be clean, man. I can't be fiendish. I can't have some kind of ulterior motive when I stand before my God. When I stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When I stand before Allah, then my niyyah must be upright and good. And this religion is also called Dinul Hanifa. Hanif means the religion of the upright. You want to be upright? Practice this religion. Live this life for real. Don't be artificial. Be your authentic self. And I'm going to stop there, and then I'll get back up, inshallah, finish the khutbah, inshallah. May Allah help this khatib, and may He help everyone that has come to Jum'ah prayer and multiply rewards for all of us. Yeah, multiply. Yeah, Allah, multiply rewards for all of us many times over. Why? Because we're doing our best to align ourselves, to make the in-flight adjustments with our lives, our very lives, to agree with what your will is. This is the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Jum'ah prayer is an assignment from God that we all must come to grips with that assignment and come up to the standards of the type of people that Allah wants to attend the Jum'ah prayer. Ameen. والصلاة والسلام على خير المرسلين محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So Allah says in Quran, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَمَعَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. The word I want to focus on in this particular ayah, I'll read up to it, and then we'll expand on it, and then we'll finish the khutbah, inshallah. Allah says in the Quran, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَمَعَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. And we ask Allah to guide us on the right path. Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim. Another word for path is, or paths, is subulana, or subul. Yeah, many paths. So the path that Allah has established, that one path is also inclusive of many paths to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So don't misunderstand the beauty. We used to say many, many moons ago, and I hear them say it now, the straight and narrow. Anybody remember that? The straight and narrow path. No. This is not a narrow path here that we are on. This is a wide path that is inclusive of paths. Subulana, our paths. So the translator says, we will certainly guide them to our paths. This is Allah speaking with the utilization of what they call the royal we in Islam. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. So Allah, if He wants to, He can use whatever of His creation that He wants to get something over to His servants. So the scholars, they say that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says we, He's talking about a royal we, which is also inclusive of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because He's the source, He's the cause of what happens. As a matter of fact, brothers and sisters, we are the effects of Allah's cause. That's what you are sitting there. You are the results of His will. You see that? We are the results of His will. So we don't have a will really, you know. So, and that's the reason why it is important for a person who says, I'm a Muslim, or I'm thinking about a Muslim, being a Muslim, then that person has to dig deep. Man, you got to dig deep. You got to get all of that stuff, all of that crud that the world put in you. The world put a lot of crud in you and me, man. And you have to dig deep. Nobody is going to do it for you. Nobody is going to do it for you. Now, if you're still tinkering with all of that junk that the world put in there, then you're mixing truth with falsehood. And when you mix truth with falsehood, it's not going to turn out right. It's like somebody trying to bake a cake, and they're supposed to be using flour, and they put 5 pounds of lard in there. You stick it in the oven and pull it out, see what you get. I want to know, and this is what Allah is telling us in the Quran, how to be a man. You should question that. We talked about this. I want to know how to be a man. So I'm not going to dream up something. I think a man ought to be like this. Well, why should I think about it, try to come to some kind of opinion? You know what they say about opinions? They're like noses. Everybody got one. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us how to be a man. You want to be a man? Study what Allah said. Or you want to be a woman? The type of woman that Allah wants? Study the woman in the Quran, Al-Quran Kareem. That's the woman that Allah wants to populate the earth with. So even with that, this is my mind is running because I want to finish this khutbah. So what are prophets anyway? Why did Allah keep sending prophets after prophets after prophets, and then after all of a sudden, khalas, that's it? Because he had sent enough examples, especially the last one, the Khatam Nabiyyin, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was and he is the type of human being that Allah wants to populate the earth with. Did you hear what I said? The prophets are prototypes that the world should be looking at to copy them and at the same time keep their own personality. This is so tasty, I can taste it with my brains. So if you say you're a Muslim, don't lie to yourself. Because you may be including a lot of the crud from yesteryear. And you're saying, it's all right to do this, this is me. Well, it's not Muhammad. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not Muhammad. That's the what they call the litmus test or the acid test. The acid test, you drop acid on that. Drop some acid on La ilaha illallah. It's going to roll off. Drop some acid on that. But if you drop some acid on Ana uridu thalatha ilah or ilah. No, I want to believe that there are 3 gods. Drop some acid on it. It will dissolve. It won't stand. Because the nature of us and the way that we were created is to live into the mold of our original creation. And that is being the type of man that Allah wants to populate the earth with. And Allah kept sending. So, Imam, what are you saying? This is what I'm saying. Let me finish. Please listen closely. Watch this. It's not me. I'm just sharing because I love it so much. That's all. I researched it. I listened. I took notes. That's all. You understand what I'm saying? So what is good? How do you know something is good? You should be able to connect the good with God. If you can't connect the good with God, forget it. It's something other than good. Whatever it is. Good business should have so much good in it, it connects with God. It agrees with the will of God. Make sense? Yeah. An educational endeavor, it's simple, but as they say, it's easier said than done. You know, he's making those connections up there. Yeah, absolutely. Why can I make these connections? I'm just making connections because it's good to make good connections. To rehearse. Don't you know this is a rehearsal? That the Jumah prayer itself, the Jumah, you're gathering here, it's a rehearsal, man and woman. You're going to have a last one of these. And the last one of these congregational assemblies is not going to happen on earth. It's going to happen before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. When we stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's the final Jum'ah. Standing in the courts of judgment. To be judged, final judgment, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't worry about what all those people said about you. Don't worry about how you looked in the face of the people. Don't worry about whether or not somebody appreciates you or not. Be concerned about whether or not Allah is accepting you in your life and what you're doing in your life. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, and those who strive in our cause, please, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا. This is plural. This is not singular. There's a group of strivers. There's groups that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala watches to see if they're lining up their will to do his will. And when he makes the assessment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes the assessment that that person, that boy, that girl, that husband, that wife, that uncle, that aunt, grandmama, granddaddy, when he makes the assessment that they're doing things to line up with his will, he calls on the angels to go and support you. He calls on the angels to provide a path for you. That's the plural of subulana, our paths. Our paths means the paths that Allah has utilized his angels to provide for you. La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the angels are his sentinels, man. The angels is his infantry and his cavalry, if you want to read it that way. They don't have no other will. They can't go against Allah's will. They have no free will. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them command and they do his bidding. Whatever his bidding is. You hear what I'm saying? Whatever his bidding is now. So there's many things that's coming to my mind. I want to make sure I got this ayat out. We will certainly guide them to our paths. You want to be for real with yourself and Allah? You better be looking for Allah's path. Don't be trying to create no path for yourself. I want to do this. This is what I want to do. Well, did Allah say it in the Quran? It's permissible? No, but you know, I was raised up like that Ark. No. You can't make that rationale. Imam Hatim Hamidullah, rahimahullah alayhi, he said, I want to say this and I'm going to stop. He said, once you start rationalizing too much, rationale becomes dry. It doesn't even have any substance anymore, like that topsoil that's gone bad. You hear what I'm saying, right? The rationale produces a friction inside of the being, inside of the psyche, inside of the spirituality of man. And when you rationalize too much, that friction becomes a fire. And that fire produces, before it's a fire, it's a flint. You know, I hear flintstone, the flinty stone, the flint. Two stones come together. Well, it can become so frictional inside of the being that the person can be on fire and don't even realize it. They can be burning. Their situation is burning. And all of the substance that once was structured in your life is burning without you even having a real picture of what's going on because of the path that you took. We want to look for what Allah says, as He has said, and we will certainly guide them. You should ask Allah. We should ask Allah, oh Allah, put me on one or two or three or four of those paths that you were talking about in this ayah. The path of goodness, the path of righteousness. And I like to say the Imam can talk all day. That doesn't mean that a person's going to follow what the Imam says. My responsibility is the same responsibility as any other good person, including all of the prophets who laid the pattern. What is that? Deliver the message. Don't be trying to watch people see if they do right. The prophet said, I'm not the daddy of any of you people. I'm not the father of any of you men. This is the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? So his responsibility was to receive the message, digest the message, understand the message, live the message, deliver the message. When he did that, basically fundamentally, his job was done. But the living the message took up a great portion of his life. You hear what I'm saying? Living the message, because he was the leader of the community. He was the imam of the community. He was the general of the army. He was the judge in certain situations of social endeavor. He listened to people and gave advice. He was the ambassador, and he sent out ambassadors to other parts of the peninsula and of the world. So living the message is easier said than done. So we ask Allah, oh Allah, bless us to be among those who strive in your cause. Bless us to have a cause that's worthwhile. Oh Allah, we want to be in that group that you have given the angels commands to be guided and to come into paths that were not before known. Oh Allah, bless Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the true and faithful followers of Muhammad. Surely, Ya Allah, you are Al-Haqq. You are the sure reality, and you are the only reality. And we are aware, Ya Allah, we are at your mercy. We are created beings at your mercy. Give us mercy. Verily, Allah is with those who do right. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك الرحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. Ameen. Ameen. Alhamdulillah. Those of you who are not aware, this is Hajj season. Go do some study on Hajj. How many of you have been to Hajj? Raise your hand. Hajj. Alhamdulillah. You should give the khutbah next week. No, I'm just kidding. But we should know what's going on. This is the season of the Hajj, and the Idul Adha is going to be toward the end of the month. So may Allah bless you as individuals, bless your family, and bless all of those around the world who intend to do good, do righteousness. Ameen. Ameen.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله.
Yeah, please make sure you practice social distancing. Inshallah, we want to follow the rules. And also you can use the back lobby, the entrance areas, no problem, as long as you have a prayer rug. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept this Jum'ah prayer. Ameen. Allahu Akbar. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا النوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يعده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها وأخرجت الأرض أثقالها وقال الإنسان ما لها يومئذ تهدد أخبارها بأن ربك أوحى لها يومئذ يصدر الناس أشتاتا ليروا أعمالهم فما يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يرى وما يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يرى الله أكبر الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير آمين Yes, so we have had the fence completed, and I'd like to express appreciation to Brother Ali for taking the front leadership on that to get it done, to get it finished. Alhamdulillah. I know if you didn't see it or didn't notice it coming in, just observe the fence. It's been completed. We've been talking about this fence now for almost a decade. So the fence is in, alhamdulillah, and we're going to turn our direction now onto the ceiling fans, the air condition on the brother's side. During Ramadan, or right before Ramadan, we did install an air conditioning unit. We have to put vents up though on the sister side, and make a duct system that goes throughout the ceiling. But we're going to turn our attention to the ceiling fans here on this side, and the speaker system. It still needs to be tweaked. So the media department, I call it the media department, is working on perfecting the environment here so that we can have productions that are high quality, because the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and this lifestyle that we live, it deserves the best. It deserves the best. So when we put information out, any media, anything like that, it should be of the best quality, because it is definitely dawah. So those of you who would like to participate in any kind of way, just step to Brother Ali, and any other brothers that you see regularly around here, Brother Khalid, others. Esau, I think he's on another level today too, and Umar and Shakur, Wali, and others. But I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this support system that we have. You cannot have good leadership unless you have people on the ship that's qualified to run it. You understand what I'm saying? The captain can't run the ship all by himself. You got to have support, and vice versa. If you don't have no captain and there's people on the ship, then you still got a problem. So I hope and pray to Allah that everything is taken in the way that it's meant, and it really actually is meant to please Allah. And if it pleases Allah, I hope it pleases you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.